it going? First, a word of caution. I was just over at a friend's live stream, and they had to shut down and come back and start again because somebody, came up, and they actually came up as me. I'm more than happy to show my face before I come up, as long as you give me, even while I'm at work, as long as that's before you come up, put me on live. I can do it in the basement. More than happy to. Anybody that comes up as the YouTube police and does not show their face, well, then they are not going to. Hey, Eds, how's it going? I'm going to drop the link in the chat and invite you up. We were talking a little bit ago on, just, some, I think, some things that might help. And let me go through and pin that comment. I do think it's important to check the folks, make sure you at least have an idea who they are. Eds, I've seen you around plenty. I will make you a moderator, and you're welcome. Hey, Tiffany, you can come up too if you want. Molly, you can come up as well. It's open to anybody. And tonight, I thought we'd talk for at least a little while about some ways that I think people can help grow their channel. Sometimes people find themselves where they seem to be in a stuck position. Hey, Peter, good to see you. And my pleasure. But that is the link. If you'd like to come up, ask any questions you'd like. I'm no expert on this by any means. I'm just like everybody else. But I do try to pay attention, and sometimes I think I may have a little insight from time to time. Hey, Beth and Neil, good to see you. B&C Garden Experiments, Homesteading and Bacon. That's a mouthful, no doubt. Nesta, she's good people. And hey, Archangel, good. I'm doing well. I just thought tonight we could talk a little bit, and do more talking, I reckon, than playing games, what have you. After all, most everybody is looking for, most people, it seems like, are, oh, I know, I saw her there, Neil. See, careful going on to other people's lives, because of certain people that come in. I understand. And hey, Archangel, good to see you.
Likewise. Figured I'd just show my face right at the forefront and get that all out of the way.
There we go.
I'm a real human being.
I am as well. And after what I just saw on this other live, I'm going to be even more. I've always been a little bit cautious, but I'm even more so now. So by the way, if you'd like to co-stream, you're welcome to. Fact is, I think that it's good to co-stream. I think it helps. Hey, Madwood, good to see you. I think it helps with content. I think it helps with watch hours. A lot of times people, struggle.
That's where I'm stuck.
Hey, Vase Place. Who's mom?
Yeah, I figure we both have opposite sides of the coin here. Like, I'm over 1K, but I don't have the watch hours. There's a lot of people that have the watch hours that don't have the 1K either. So,
yeah. I mean, my other channel has, it is actually monetized.
Oh, nice.
It's around 2,300 subscribers.
That's solid.
So it's not, it's not huge or anything by any means.
No, but it's a solid page.
Yeah, it's and to be fair, I've never really worried too much about being monetized. But I know that live streams do a whole lot for your watch hours.
Oh yeah, live streams and shorts. Shorts, believe it or not, they get you on the views.
They get you views, but they don't count anything for watch hours.
No, definitely not watch hours. But it is another way to get monetized.
Well, that's true, but in order to do that, you have to have 10 million views.
10 million, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a little steep.
yeah, I think so too. And unless you're willing to, hey, and don't get me wrong, if I thought it'd do any good, I'd throw on one of them one of those tank tops and a pair of bicycle shorts and spray myself down with water.
Yeah, like a tutu and a tank top.
I'm afraid I'd be sued for people throwing up though.
Look at what's his name, Ginger Billy. He gets away with doing all that kind of stuff.
Uh,
He-
hey, Melita, I'm gonna need you to show your face. I know, uh, I know that decal or that avatar, and I won't bring you up before you're ready. But if you'd like to be on panel, I need you to show your face because I'm not bringing anybody up on panel without seeing their face first.
Makes sense.
Hey, if you want to stream, that's fine. Um, I know that avatar, and I know who that is. So, or I know who it's supposed to be. But I also know that
Anybody can dupe an avatar too. It's really not
that's
that
right.
hard.
That's right. And hey, I know the name. Um, Still, that don't change nothing. Um, the I'll have to see your face first. All right, you can go ahead and go behind the avatar. That's fine. I will tell you this also that on this channel, when you're when you are on an avatar, it won't show the avatar. That's just because of the settings, but it will go through and it will
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
you can still be heard.
Yeah,
Um, it just doesn't show the avatar. I mean, I can
that's
I
change.
came up to show you my new avatar.
that's cool.
Well, hey, I've seen it, and that's awesome. I love that.
Do you?
I really. Oh well, let me change the setting so you can be seen. Um, Hang on, because that is a cool avatar. Let me see if I get my mouse to work. Let's see.
Devil Dogs Keepers making my stickers just like that.
Cool.
Uh, I figured, and
Says at the top for the love of Texas.
mhm.
And then my
Nice.
name, Molly, Pest Hunters
Oh, I
Best
don't know
Gift.
why that changed. Um, Unless I guess we got Devil Dog. Let's bigify her so we can see that
Oh yeah,
avatar.
absolutely.
Um,
Bigify.
well, that's a Devil Dog term, you know.
Hmm.
A lot of people want to try to attribute that to me, but that ain't mine. That's
Nope.
Devil Dog.
It's like in boot camp we called sneakers go fasters.
There we go. The But the first time I ever heard it was one that Devil Dog used, and Devil Dog is you know he's he's good people, and he can
He's a
help.
devil dog. Yep. He's a
And
good man.
I would encourage anybody if they're working on watch hours to go through, and obviously between Archangel and Molly, feel free to go through and share this. That way, it'll help with content. I think Molly might could use some content. The And just being seen though, um, I think just being seen typically helps. Hey, Keebler woman, good to see
Oh, I
you.
agree.
Days Place and Chris over at Square County Homestead. Want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Hey, Jonathan Suck. Um, Now, if you got something you really need me to say, I'd recommend you throwing a little bit of fire on it. Fire emoji type thing. Deus Volt, good to see you, brother. Um, being, that being Beth and Neil, being us Odyssey. I think I've already said hey to Thompson RC and Chris, but just in case.
Got lots of
Um,
people coming in.
I'm pretty bad. Hey, if I can do fairly well, and I think I have, uh, I am all over the place, Numis. You know, I really, it seems like it anyhow. I do see Skipper all over the place. Um, the As far as my advice, I think initially I was trying to talk with Ed's. Ed, if you could come up here Well, I guess, or I could just mention some things I think that could help Ed and what he's doing.
There you
Um,
go.
I think with his, and I guess it might even help if I show his channel. Um, Let me go through and get another. Uh, let's see here.
I'm streaming.
Excellent. This will help. That'll help you with content and hopefully watch hours as well. So let me go
It's
through
the
and
first
share.
time I was able to do it by myself.
That's
Really
all.
good for you.
And I'll just tell you what I see on it, and that way y'all can go through and make up your own mind about what I'm saying. Hey, Raven Cat Homestead,
Hey,
good to see you.
Cecilia.
And let's see. Now, I tell you what, it's probably just easier if I go straight up top and go to his channel directly. Um, I think he's got a good channel. Uh, I know he's good people. I've seen him in a lot of places. A lot of people like him. The um, but one thing I would change, Ed, I would put some details in here just so that so that people can when they check you out, they see something about what your channel's about. Even though if they take the time, they can look at your videos to be able to tell from that. Um, but it helps to have that type of thing. Uh, I don't know that I would think that's a big deal, but you may throw some links up there. Um, I mean, you've obviously already monetized. You got. Let's check out the join feature. Just starts at 99 cents a month. $1.99, $2.99, $9.99. Similar to
Sounds
the
good.
way I've got mine laid out. Um, I did notice he said though that he's been he hadn't been able to crack 1.5 for a long time. Seems to be is what he was saying to me. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six shorts up here. Um, One thing I do know is that shorts, tend to increase your subscriber count. Now I don't think for him in his situation, him already being monetized, I think uh, it won't translate over to your longer format. I don't believe watches, watch time, that type of thing. But it will, I don't know if his are monetized, his shorts are monetized or not. I know that they looked at mine separately from my longer format and what have you, and they did monetize it. I don't know if that's something they ever turned anybody down on. And anyhow, um, if you look at his playlist, no playlist, might throw a few on there, but when it comes to increasing, when it comes to actually growing from this number to a higher number, I think one of the things you don't see up here is live streams. Um, what it's been my experience that live streams have a tendency to do a couple of things. First of all, they get to know you, interact with you. It makes it more personable, and it
That's where I
does have.
get my subscribers.
Oh, I guess I've been sitting here the whole time, and I have not showed the thing, and I'm sorry about that.
It's all right.
Well, I get scatterbrained, and I know Devil Dog's just down there laughing at me. And that's okay. I
I
get
think he's
wrapped up.
playing Jeopardy.
Well, he probably is. I know he's over there on DJ's channel.
Yeah, he was playing Jeopardy before.
Oh, I know. I was over there,
Yeah,
and
kind of
I
figured.
can't do what I call Devil Dog. I can't pay attention. Obviously, I can't pay enough attention to one stream, let alone two. So
Right.
I make a lot of mistakes. In fact, I'm sure I've missed quite a few folks in here. Sophia Starlin, you know, uh, I'm not sure if I said hello already or not. But, on this particular one, what I would recommend, Ed, would be to focus on your shorts and start doing some live streams. Now, live streams can be a little intimidating. That's why, thank you, Molly. I see Molly using the USMC. We got a bunch of things you can use on here, to drop. Use your drop command, drop people's links. And you have a tablet on Devil Dog. That's awesome, Beth, or Neil, and Numis Maniac. If I could do multitasking like that, Gary, you'd be a female. I hear you. My wife's pretty good about that type of thing. But uh, in order to, in order to for, in order to get um, more subscribers, more connections, more, you got to do a couple. I can tell you what I do. How you do it is up to you. I think that shorts do tend to gain subscribers. Um, I guess it's depending on your focus. If your only focus though isn't to get just to get more subscribers, then what you'll need to do probably is going to be do more live streaming or hopping into live streams, going to people that you don't already know. The problem that you run into is once you get up to 1,000, 1,400, a lot of times, a lot of folks will hit kind of a stall because they're in the same circle. Um, you have a tendency, people have a tendency to go and get into um, you. And well, thank you, I appreciate that, Beth and Neil. We did have the pleasure of meeting both of those down at the Mid South meetup that we had over here last week, and last Saturday, and that was awesome. But I think that we as people, you know, doesn't matter, how tall or short, fat or thin you are, we do have a tendency to fall into habits. And one, to me, what stands out here is really no live stream. And not that you necessarily have to have live streams, but if you go to people's live streams, and let's look at just for a second my subscriptions. These are the people, Cole Walks is great people, and you can meet a lot of people there if you don't know Cole. Jason and Gina, you got Winston Jail TV. These are people with many different amounts of live streams. Um, I know there's quite a few folks in Melissa James, uh, Molly Pest Hunter's Best Catch. She's obviously in here, and she's got a couple. She's got a couple that watching hers right now. Now that does a couple things for her. First of all, it gives her a live stream that will show up on her page. And if somebody, if she when she starts a master playlist, um, that'd probably be the first one listed. That'd be the first thing I'd list is a live stream, just because of the fact that when people start watching, um, that plays for a long time. And if you're interested in watch hours, playlists and live streams. Now, if you look, here's somebody you'll run into fairly frequently if you look at a lot of these shared streams. Is the BC Gaming Dispatcher, and he's on here. He's got two folks. You know, I guess my point is just to look at the variety um, of the different live streams, because there's a lot of it here. I've got some gaming. I've got some. In fact, we could take a moment and look at some of them. Now, some of the things I look for when I go to a live stream, and just for example, you know, he's got his GoFundMe. I do have a tendency to look at the folks in the chat. If I'm seeing, moderators in here, which I only see one in here at the moment, and it doesn't look like they're dropping links. Um, here is another one that this one obviously is dropping links. So guess what I would recommend going to between those two? It's going to be the one dropping links for two reasons. First of all, it's more likely that they're going to drop your link. And some people, especially the first time you go in there, there'll be one or two probably maybe that may snap it up. But the more people see you around that live stream, the more likely they're going to be to connect with you. But here's the kicker. Because they're dropping links, that gives you more people that you can go see and get to know. Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
No.
And basically, people are more likely to come show you love if you show them love first.
Hey,
Hey,
Gary.
baby, you look good.
Cecilia would like to know
Yeah.
him that I can open another tab and read what is going on.
Can you open another tab and read what is going on?
Please put the link in your channel that you are on so that I can open another tab and read what is going on.
All right.
Cecilia.
There we go. Now, if she's in my chat, she will see that. If she's over in the other chat, she'll have to come over here to get it. But yeah. But if you look, I don't know if, in fact, I don't know if I can blow that up or not. I think I can. Let's take a look. Yeah, I can. There's another way to do it. I can just go and increase the size. All right. Let me take that down a little bit. There we go. All right. And this is, what I'm saying is just that this will go through and whoever is doing and I can't show all of it but it does show you that somebody's, those people are dropping links. And so, maybe I can put it a little bigger and see that there's a link there, a link there, a link there. When people are coming into that live stream, those moderators are dropping links. But guess what? Do you know why people drop links?
So you can check them out.
That's true. But it also does something else. When you go through and you show, that you're willing to, it's another form really of going through, and it's almost like you're promoting them. And when you're promoting them, it gives, they feel better about you. Well, guess what? If you're doing something for somebody, they're more likely to check you out as well. I think that is a good way of building your reputation. If nothing else, it gives you goodwill. And I am a firm believer in helping other people out. And when you help other people out, they have, in fact, if you look at, I believe it was Zig Ziglar, that would, he'll tell you, he's a professional salesperson or was. I don't know if he's still around, but he's written several sales books, and he'll tell you if you help other people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want. And even though that's part of my DNA anyhow, I try to help other people. And as a result, I keep getting love back from the community. Now, I don't do it because of that, but that is an added benefit of it. So, but if you go through and you drop into here's Jan, love Jan to death. And if you'll notice in hers, there's quite a few folks, at least a lot of active comments. And you also, if you were to look far enough back, I spent time dropping links in there, even though I know a lot of these people. But as I do look at, I do look at. Um,
Mm. I like supporting people. I'm
I do
a
too.
I'm a good moderator.
Yeah,
I'm a good supporter. I don't have a lot of content, but I know a lot of really great people.
exactly. And see, having a great channel, at least to a certain point, is is doing the same thing. You're still supporting people. But if you want to grow past a certain point, you have to extend yourself beyond those initial confines or the initial people that you know. And the truth is, you can find a lot of really neat people out there. I've met some really neat people once I started, trying to really develop the YouTube police. I was not wanting it to be in the same. In fact, I came across a channel called The Stand that, you know, there's a lot of really good people in there. They're very loyal. Um, they're just good people. If y'all get a chance, I'd recommend going to get to meet them as well. Now they were very skeptical of me to begin with. After all, you know, people look at me funny when I tell them I'm the YouTube police. It
I
is
thought
what it
you was
is.
a troll the first time.
Well, that's what a lot of people do, and but in fact, I've had some channels that blocked me right off the bat, and so
How long did it
and
take me to
that's
figure out what
okay.
Gary? Less than an hour.
Do I now?
Took me about an hour to figure out who it was.
Who you were?
Well, sometimes it does take a little while,
Yeah,
and some
I
people
finally
do it. I
got
think
you on a
pretty
couple of
quick.
the two of your channels.
Well, it's funny because that's Jason, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
Hey,
is.
Jason, good to see you, brother, or hear you.
Yeah, I'm actually I got you on here, and I'm about ready to text. There's no sense of having both of us up here.
Hey, it's all good. You know, I don't get too worked up over most anything. It don't it really don't bother me. I understand people got their own ways of doing things, and I'm okay with that. I guess I ain't gonna. You know what? One of my favorite sayings is never sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff because other people, you know, it's almost like I have had people that approach me and have said, uh, how can I stand or talk bad about one group or another? I said, why do I care if they do that, or why would I care anything about that? It has nothing to do with me. Everybody, here now we are in the United States. At least I am. I believe y'all are as well. If I remember correctly, maybe Minnesota. I may be wrong on that, but it doesn't really matter to me where somebody's from. They could be American. They could be in the Philippines. They could be in Australia, Tasmania, Canada. I really don't care. Everybody's got their own way of doing things and thinking on things. That's just like one of the reasons why I love hanging out with Devil Dog so much is Devil Dog. He's got him and I got a lot of similarities in a lot of ways. Um, his dad was a preacher. My dad was a preacher. He's got ties to Houston and Indiana. I've got ties to Houston, Indiana. He's got ties to he was in the Marine Corps, worked in avionics, scored high on his ASVAB. I was, top scorer in my school on the ASVAB, signed up for the Marine Corps to go into avionics. The only problem is my asthma had me kicked, where I couldn't go. The
Right.
There's just a lot of similarities, but and I like the way his thinking though is different in some ways than mine. And a lot of times he'll pop up, he'll say something, and that gets my mind, the wheels in my mind to turning sometimes. And it's good to have somebody that can do that for you. By the way, we'll go ahead and give you a little bit more watch time. The uh, the the fact is that if you can keep your mind fresh, uh, keep it to where it's open to different ideas, and I think maybe well this may end up with an infinity thing. I may have to set that on a different thing and bring it over here to watch. Anyhow, and I know y'all are real good supporters of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that is awesome. And truth is, maybe that's all y'all have the time to do, and if that's the case, that's fine. But it may be possible that and where was the Ed's? Going back to Ed's, there we go. I think ultimately it goes down to what your priorities are, what you're trying to do. Question?
No, he's saying hi to Cecilia.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hey, Zombie Prepper. I'm sorry. I've been missing kind of. Hey, Mama too. Good to see you. Raven Cat. Let's see. I get talking, running off at the mouth. Sometimes I don't. Hey, it's good to see you, Daisy Joe. Pretty sure I said hello, but still, hey, Vay's Place. Bud Files, always a pleasure. And by the way, everybody can type, at least in my chat, you can type 29 or DD and it will drop your link.
I don't have Nightbot.
Well, that is something that might help just become more user friendly. Some people don't like it. Usually the people that don't like it are the ones that haven't disabled all the commands to put people in timeout. That type of thing. Because with Nightbot, if you don't disable the commands, it will go through and oh goodness. Well, that's probably just the way it was. If this was not damaged, that's still good.
Unless somebody laid it out.
That's a good point. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna throw it away.
That's fine.
We won't have any cheese like this. We'll have to use this.
That's all right. Anyhow, I think that something else that I firmly believe in is that if you want to be able to grow beyond a certain point, because doing YouTube the way that I do it is very time consuming. It because of the fact that I'm spending. You only have 24 hours in a day. It's almost like the old saying, "Make your money work for you." Make your time work for you as well. If you're making, for example, shorts are great to hit it. Basically, it's a hit it and quit it situation. You load it up. There's a time expiration date on it. There's not really, but the fact is, when you first post it, usually if it's not doing anything pretty soon, it probably won't. Long-term videos, longer format videos, those they have an expiration date, but there's a potential you can make a video to where they're going to, continue to search for it. Let me go through and show you what I mean. I think most of y'all are familiar. You may not, but I think some of y'all, I'm sure, are familiar with evergreen videos. Evergreen videos are just videos that people continue to watch over and over and over again. If you let's go to analytics. This is my main channel. In the past, it's nothing special. My views right now are down 10,000, 10.5 thousand over what they were the previous 28 days. Part of that is because of the fact that I really hadn't been doing much in the way of shorts lately. Hey Jack, good to see you. Always a pleasure, brother.
Hello.
My subscriber count is about average. I'm at 98 over the last 28, and it typical is between 81 and 115 new additions a month. Now that is down from where it was a little while back when I was doing more shorts. Hours is down a little bit right now. Right now, my watch time is in hours is 419.2. Typically, is between 710 820, and well, that's in estimated revenue is down as well. Anybody that knows me knows that I typically have not been spending much time on my Belt Loop 29 is Batman channel. I've been spending time developing my YouTube police channel. I guess we could go look at it. Well, before I do that, let's go over here and look at what I'm talking about. Can you kind of see though how I get scatterbrained and get bouncing around?
Yeah.
It's one thing I get to talking and it leads me to another place. What I want to show is really right up in here. Look at these dates. June the 9th, June the 1st, June the 9th, 7th, 4th. All these are fairly recent till you get to right here. And that is a family taste test. Can every year when it starts hitting in the spring and people start looking at when they are going to be planting their tomatoes or starting their tomatoes. People have a tendency to look up tomato taste tests so they can kind of get an idea of what other people like, and I've done it myself. And let me show you this one here. Started off very slow. I mean, it got a few here and there.
Hey, Jack, can you drop your link?
Jack, if you would, well, do you mind?
Right.
I don't know if you're in the YouTube, but if you would go ahead and type in 29 and just hit enter, and it will share your link. Or you can type in DA, either way. But this would be, for me, what I would consider kind of an evergreen video, because if you look at it down here it was the first 180 days. That's 6 months, or right at it. It's only got 176 views, but then people start looking at see, that's in the winter, December the 29th, only 156 views. If you look, once it starts getting into the I wish my mouse would start acting right. January, February, March, people are starting their tomatoes, starting them from seed, and they're starting thinking about it. And as it picks up a little bit of traction, it continues to grow. And you have a little bit of a slump, it looks like, there in the winter, and then it kind of starts picking back up throughout the summer months. The angle to me looks a little bit higher in the summer than it does the winter. So I think that people are, and I only mention this, by the way, and this, just to prove to you, what I'm saying. And hey, Joe, I know you do not, and you probably about the only person I would let up right now without showing, even though I probably, I might should have waited for you to show your face, but I know how that whole situation. But
Thanks,
anyhow,
Gary.
no problem. You'll notice that the ad revenue here is like $4.42. Anybody think I'm getting rich off of YouTube?
Woo!
But I have picked up 8 subscribers from this one video, and it's gotten about 349 hours of watch time. So if you can develop a bank of things that people want to see and they're going to continue to come back to. Now, it is true, you can just go through and make videos about the things that you like. But even those, I think you can go through and kind of show how something's done or teach somebody. Imagine trying to teach your younger self how to do something and throw in the tips of the stuff that you've already learned. That will help some people along the way. So, I mean, if you're like me on a lot of my stuff, especially on the Belt Loop 29 channel, we're really more about, that channel is mostly about entertainment, having fun. Um, I do try to help folks with it, and it's continuing to grow. Um, but let me go back and show you, because this is right where we were, and but that is what I would consider a YouTube. Uh, that one right there, Tomato Family Taste Station. You can look at the dates, and here's another one. Well, no, that was. Here's another one. How to Speak Redneck. That dog will hunt. Well, guess what? That's from 2021. It's just another one that continues to grow. Now, I don't get a huge amount of views on any of these. I mean, it's few here, a few there. But what you do is you get something that continues to, here's another one about Sweet Cherry Tree Guild. That's from 2021. You can look at the older dates and a trip to Wards with my wife. Now why anybody would watch that, I don't know. But Spotlight on the Anna apple tree. Several of these, now this is my top. That is my top video of all, and it is a short. And it's got 168,000 views. But you can't count on a short picking up that many views. Exactly. It's nice when it happens, and it's basically a straight drive up. And even then, that was first 2 days it only had 86 views, but then by 3 days it had 168,000. Well, guess what? It's grown less than 1,000 since then, and I've made a total of 3 cents off of it. Woohoo!
Ooh, it's time to retire.
Exactly. But if you look here, I've gained 241 subscribers from that. And while that is unusual because it's, like I said, it's my highest. It is my highest volume video of anything. But it does go through and shows you that you can pick some up from shorts. I'm sorry. Let me go back to that and then I'm gonna in a minute we'll take a look and and if you look at some of these down here, 21, 21, 21, how to speak redneck, chew the fat. Here's another one, how to keep deer out of your garden. That's another one that people look for every year. And
you get more views if you'd have gone to 29, 29, 29.
Oh, I know. I love the number 29. I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah. And I'm personally, this is one of the worst videos I think I've ever made. But I've made a big old $1 too off of it. But I've gotten 1.6, thousand views, and still at March, a lot of people while they're starting their gardens and what have you there, then they start growing their stuff. May, June, July, that's when the deer start hitting them things. So, that's why, at least in my head, I believe that's why they're trying to figure out how to keep deer out of the garden. And then it just kind of continues up from there. Even though I've only had one view in the last week, it's something that people keep coming back to.
Right.
It shows up in the algorithm, and you can kind of see most everything I tell them is done by there, and then it just kind of trails off. Now this is my main channel. I'm at as if you can see the dashboard, I'm at 2340, and I haven't been, as far as the content is concerned, I haven't put a whole lot out lately. I've put an effort to put a few of my shorts up just because I don't want it to forget about me. But the last
squeaky door there.
The last real longer format, and even then it's only 30 seconds, was back in May the 16th. I need to do something with it. Anyhow, but let's take a look at what I've been focusing on lately. And for me, this is pretty good. Um, Up to, well, I guess we can look at the analytics. Here in the last 28 days, I've had 3.8 or 3.7 thousand, and which is why you should take everything with a grain of salt. This is just been my experience. This is anecdotal. So, uh, and your experiences may not be the same, but I think uh, watch hours in the last 48 hours. No, I'm sorry. In the last 28 days, it's been 749.3, and that's 300% more than it was the previous, because I really wasn't focusing on this channel. But in the last 28 days, I've picked up 279 subscribers. So I at least feel like, I'm making some movement. And it's, right now, if you look at content, my live streams, I've been pretty fortunate in those. This is the one we currently have, 56. And I've only got 400 subscribers on this, but yet we've got 56 views on this. My last one that I was, doing today, I shot this one today, was, 242 views.
Hi, Paul.
31.
Hi, Sophia.
If you look at that, even since then, I've gained an hour of watch time. But if you go down further, we had a peak of 27, average of 16. 16 over 3 hours is, what is that, 48? That sounds right. So that should have picked me up about 48 hours. Well, guess what? If you pick up 48 hours a week, that's almost, you need 300, and you need about 10.96 hours per day, which is a little over 70 hours a week. 77 about. And the last thing to show you, I've been focusing on this one. I haven't been doing a whole lot of, I have not done a lot of shorts. I've done a few, but most everything on my list, you'll see a lot more videos and what have you than you're going to see the shorts. I've added a few, but if you look at the Earn tab right now, I'm at almost 900 hours. I'm 15 hours short of the 900 hours, and at 425. Although, never mind. It sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, and I don't want to do that.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
The first video I ever put out back in March of 20,
Mm-hmm.
that very first video I ever put out, it's already had 1.2K views.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And that was a little 49-second video
Mm-hmm.
that I put out back then, a raw video. And that seems to be what everybody's wanting.
Well,
Also,
here's why that is. Do you know why that is, Joe?
it just blew my mind when I first seen it.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why it is that's why they want?
Because it's all raw.
Well, yeah, that is true. But the way YouTube works is they go through, and the people that initially see your videos, the one, especially those that do really well, different types of videos attract different types of people. Some people want quick angle changes, that especially a lot of the younger folks, they have very shorter attention span. Right. Hey, Leela, good to see you. Even though mine seems to be pretty short at times as well. Hey, Paul C. But what happens is when they watch your video, it typically will go into their watch history, and they're more likely to show you, some of your videos to that person because of the fact that they've watched you before. They're building. It's
Profile.
like in the judicial process, they would call it precedence. There's precedence
Right.
to say that that person will watch your videos. All right, and so basically, what happens is if everybody gets a raw footage video, if the people that like raw footage see your footage and see your video, then when it shows something to them, if it's raw footage, it's going to appeal to that group, and they're more likely to watch it. So
And
it's not so much YouTube pushing it out as it is them drawing it in.
right.
And so,
And one thing I can say, Gary, if I may,
yeah,
tags. Put tags on all your videos.
Yes.
This way, YouTube will push you out
I need to start doing
to a certain genre or whoever's looking for that tag.
yeah. I mean, some people do search by tags, and it certainly can't hurt, and I think it does help. But not everybody. Hey, policies. My receipt. It certainly will for those people that search for tags, and it does help because it kind of links them together. I think that ultimately, I think there's three things that people look at when it comes to videos that make a difference. One is, the footage, of course, and the video itself, the editing, but also it looks at, the thumbnail, and it looks at the title. You can literally write almost identical titles, but word it differently, and it will attract a different group
For
of
9
people.
seconds.
So
Okay.
titles is not some, titles, for example, I know Jerry Butler's, who I don't know if he'll join us tonight or not. He may be in the chat, but
Butler
him-
is at the meetup right now with Jam.
I know, but he said he was going to try to, he said when he was driving home or
Can you
something
take my
like
bowl?
that, said he was going to try to join.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he is or not.
Mhm.
I don't expect him to, but hey, that's all right. Anyhow,
I just
your
subscribed to
title,
you, Joe.
your thumbnail, and your actual video make a difference. And you can look at, I guess I could show it. You can actually go through and look at any given video, especially, and it will go through and it'll show you your peaks and your valleys. This is fairly steady. That's something that a lot of times you look for. This is 92% viewed, but there are some videos that are not near as likely viewed. For example, I'll show this one just because of the fact that this one didn't do real well. It's gotten 23 subscribers, but I think that's just because they were folks that were coming over checking me out, and they just happened to be playing this. But if you look at this, the way it goes, 88% started, and then it fell to virtually nothing. But it kind of shows some peaks, and this may not be the perfect one to show you because it's nothing but a candle. But you can go through your videos and look at peaks where it jumps up and see, and I'll show you something. I'll show you something that absolutely. Let's see if I can get my keyboard right.
Somebody emptied the gallon one.
This is one of my favorite videos. I don't know why.
What-
I just think it's funny.
I know. I
Oh.
did.
This was a video I did that said a dozen questionable reasons to
It's a-
subscribe to the Belt Loop 29 channel. And it's all silly, stupid stuff. Like it'll give you a bigger tax, refund. Your wife will be a better cook. Your husband will be more attentive. Your husband will take out the trash. Just silly things. But it's one of my favorites. But you'll notice right here that there's a big jump. There's a few little spikes, but not a whole lot. And sometimes that's probably where they're going back. They're fast forward, skipping ahead to the next reason. But they're none of them huge like this one. The fact is, let's take a look from right here and see what the difference is.
Yeah, Joe, where at in the Philippines are you at here?
I'm not in the Philippines right now. I'm in Missouri State, but my wife's in the Philippines.
Where about?
She's in Manila.
I'm a little south. I'm in Bacolod City.
Very
My
cool.
in-laws are down in Mindoro.
But you'll see that the pretty girl popped in right here.
No, you're not sharing the screen, Gary.
Do what now?
You're not sharing the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't I feel stupid as
Just
always?
sitting there doing your own thing.
All right. I'm sorry. I thought y'all were seeing this.
Nope, not at all. We were just wondering what you're watching.
My bad. I apologize.
Hey,
Again,
I'm glad I said something.
I am too.
Well, I
'cause
asked
I'm
him what he's
sitting
been
here-
looking at, but he doesn't hear when he's talking.
I'm sorry. I swear I get involved. I get a one-track mind, and but this right here is. I'm sitting here going through all this stuff, thinking y'all can see what I'm showing, and it just ain't doing
No, but
The,
Foxy's friends say hi.
hey,
and
Foxy.
Mama.
Well, I know Foxy's the dog. Sorry for your loss on that dog. That was a
and
beautiful
Nelly
dog.
Kim.
But if you'll watch what happens, you can tell by the chart that, and this is the most obvious thing I have, at why it has retention, why people are watching at that moment, why the right here it's at 38%. 38% of the people that clicked on this are still watching at this point. Now they could have skipped through a lot of these. In fact, I suspect that they did. That's why you have these peaks. They're going through and looking for, the stuff that's interesting or entertaining to them, because that's ultimately what you're trying to do when you make a video. Make it something interesting that people can watch and either learn something or, so
150.
anyhow.
What?
I got 1,561 views.
Oh.
And that was raw of the moment.
And you see what happened, why their interest picked back up. Now, it ain't always got to be a pretty girl on there. I mean, that happens to be my cousin. She just happened to be over Mom and Daddy's. I thought I would involve her in the video. After all, she is a pretty girl, and I was curious as to see what it would do, to this particular video.
Throw some bait out there.
Well, it certainly, it went from being at 33%, 33. It's now at 64. So you had, it jumps up to 68. So it, really more than doubles.
It's your duration.
So, and to me, that's kind of a cheesy little trick that, some people do. In fact, I'm not even sure if a a lot of the guys that watch these videos ever even notice the face of the girl that's on there. They just see a bunch of, somebody in a, a girl in tight
Yep.
clothes, and Tammy's
It's
mad
like it's like
puppy.
they say sex sells or something like that.
Yeah, sex sells.
No,
It does.
no,
And
no. Look
I
what
think
you did. You
The
wasted
guys,
all.
guys will be
any
just staring like, oh,
We're
well,
gonna give you back to your grandpa.
he ain't on here to hear you, baby.
Well,
I hear you, Donna.
I hear it.
Well, I know, but that was directed at Devil Dog because we got the puppy from Devil Dog. And anyhow, you can share it with me.
oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, I've been off of the comments for a minute. And see if I'm missing anything. Hey, Kevin with Jackie, hiking with
yeah.
Jackie.
Look away from me because you're a bad.
Erica Suter. Hey, Paisley.
Gary,
Yes,
will you wake me up at 11 if I'm not up? So
I will. I'll wake you up at 11 o'clock,
I'll
baby.
listen and try to wake
Let's see. I think I've got most everybody on here, but I'll review just a little bit in case. And hey, Bama GC Mama and Kentucky Prepper, good to see you.
Erica Sutter.
Yep. Well, I said hey to them just a little bit ago, I think, but Erica Sutter, Nana Kim, and sorry if I missed anybody. It's always a pleasure to see you, Foxy's friends. Anyhow, anybody have any questions? If
what's the
so,
meaning of
please
life?
ask. Do I now?
What's the meaning of life?
What's the
What's
meaning?
the meaning of life? I would say that the meaning of life is struggle.
Really?
Well, I would. The fact is that life is a struggle for a lot of folks, and the struggle is real, and everybody has one. Um, the Everybody's life is different, and everybody's struggle is different. Um, I think that most of the time, though, some people don't even realize that the struggle oftentimes is with themselves. Um,
Mhm.
I spend a lot of time in self contemplation. I won't call it meditation, but I like to question my own motives to make sure that my motives are pure in whatever I do. That sometimes maybe there are times I ask myself if I'm deluding myself. Am I realistic in my expectations of myself? I spend a lot of time, uh, and life is a struggle. Now, some people handle it a lot better than others, and ultimately, that's the goal. I think that for me, uh, I'm not here to um, discuss religion or anything, but my I am a Christian and my personal walk with Christ is important to me. So I tend to ask myself questions about whether or not I am living my life the way I should. Um,
Mhm.
I
I heard
think that,
somebody say, "Don't sweat the small stuff,"
well,
and the
that's
big
true.
thing, small stuff.
That
Didn't you
is
Mhm.
true
say
too.
that?
I did, and I do.
Yes, you
I do
did.
actually believe that. What that means is most of the stuff that you run into are very small compared to the bigger questions of life. Um, Still, a life unexamined, you know, isn't. I don't think a life unexamined isn't much of a life. We live in the United States. We live in a place, and I'm not saying it's any different anywhere else. I can only speak for what my experience is. But in the United States, we have a lot of stuff handed to us. As far as it's pretty simple for the most part to get food. There are places in around the world where that's just not the case.
Right.
Um,
Big
we have a roof over our heads. Don't get me wrong, I am blessed. I have led a blessed life. I have parents that have loved me, that raised me up to be, somebody who cares about, the right thing and to try to do the right thing. Not everybody has that benefit here even in the United States. Both of my parents are still with us. Now they struggle with their health. They're both in their 80s, and I think that we are, as people, we are the sum and our reactions to our experiences in life. I think that we learn from life, and just adjusting from sometimes can be a struggle.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
That's right. And
Yep.
sometimes you can struggle with success just like you can struggle with failure. Some people don't handle success well. I think it's an attempt to be grounded at all times. It's
But
like the old
failure
saying.
is a result.
Yes.
Do I
It's a
know?
failure is a result. It's a life lesson. It
It
doesn't
can be.
mean that you're a failure, it just means that you need to try a different outcome.
I agree,
Yep.
Molly.
It's a learning
But
curve.
there's other people, some people, you run into some people that it doesn't matter what happens to them, you know, it's always somebody else's fault. And for some people, it's and there are a lot of factors in that. I get that. But some people, some people accept, responsibility for their actions and other people don't. And I'm not trying to judge anybody. I just know that for me, a lot of my failures are a result of my action or my inaction or my action. And so,
You
hey,
can't
Poker
blame
Rossi.
everybody
But
for
it's not
your
how you play the
failure.
game, it's where you place the blame.
Well, I try not to blame anybody for for anything that I, other than my wife, of course. That's why you get married, of course, so that you can place the blame somewhere else. No,
No,
I'm
you
just
share the blame.
That's right. Um,
Spread it out.
I don't know. I think that the meaning of life is probably going to be different for different people. For me, I do struggle with things. I struggle with my weight. I struggle with, nicotine addiction. Um, or, it's kind of hard to break that habit. The, and I should share that's all me.
Yeah.
That's,
Right,
I
Jack?
could, I could try to blame the the tobacco companies, or I could try to blame, the, the I could
Peer
try to blame,
pressure, advertisers.
yeah, the, and I get that, but ultimately it's my decision. It's my choice.
It's a lot of
So,
factors. Hi, Roberta
hey, Roberta.
and Poker Rossi.
Yeah, Poker Rossi, he's awesome. Now I do love going into poker. I will admit, I love going into Poker Rossi's lives. I wish I could stay longer than I do sometimes. Poker Rossi, some of those things where you talk about sex sales, he's got some interesting, little tidbits that he has in there, that I like. I admit it. Um, anyhow, the let's see, 3 packs a day when I was 19 got me Amy victory. I was able to quit cold turkey. My mama was too, although I don't know how much she smoked. Um, that's been many years ago.
Hey,
And
Doc.
hey,
Doc.
Doc Tom, good to see you. But I was really only planning on going for an hour. We've gone a little over. Any questions? I guess I should say any questions of my opinion on YouTube channels, and because I don't think I did it very much justice. Um, I
One,
tried to,
hey, Gary.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people think that YouTube is a quick fix to get quick cash. It's not. You got to have thick skin, and you got to be in it for the long haul.
Yes,
I agree.
sir.
The fact is, I showed you what some of these videos, some of my top videos in some cases have paid. It's only, a couple dollars. That's about it. Now I will admit that memberships pay better, and so does super chats, that type of thing. I'm never trying to get anybody to do, super chats. I'm never trying to get anybody. In fact, I encourage people, if you're going to do super chats, save that and go over to Devil Dog's channel and do them over there.
Yeah, he
I
could use
want
it right now.
exactly. And, well, even, all the time, I would rather have somebody supporting him than I had supporting me.
I
This is
have
just a
one
hobby.
friend. I have one
Do I now?
friend. He lives in the Philippines, and he's like, he's just e-bagging. I'm like, but he says he's not e-bagging, but he's e-bagging, and he's like, next video, he's got his two brand new GoPros. I'm like, I don't need a GoPro. I have a cell phone. I got a cell
Right.
phone and
Well,
screen saver. I
see
use
that
it.
I totally agree with you. I really do. The fact is that people see. Here's the thing. I grew up dirt poor, dirt poor. I was fortunate in that my parents usually had food on the table, and I usually had a roof over my head, and that I attribute that to the fact that my parents were willing to do whatever it took to to do make sure that we made it. Now they've done a lot better since. My father went on, got some more education, ended up getting a PhD in psychology. My mama ended up, years later and got a master's in special education. Um, and all my
Well
family has
cared
done
for.
really well. Do I now?
So you were well cared
I
for.
don't care for and well.
Well, I
Yeah, you
was,
got the free psych help and you got to ride the short bus.
well, we didn't, I was older when my parents got that education. Um, I was not one that got really any benefit from it other than I'm thankful that my parents have done well. My
Nice.
brothers and my sister have done well as well. Um, I am the black sheep of my family, so to speak. Uh,
Same
I'm
here.
the I'm the one that don't
It's
quite match up with everybody else.
Right.
I love my family and I'm very proud of them. My brothers and I were just, I mean, think about it. My parents were in their, 20s and they had three stair step kids. Bam, bam, bam. Me and my older brother, and my young brother. 5 months out of the year, we're like, 17, 18, 19 years old or, on up. Um, so, they had three mouths to feed, and they had a tendency during the summer when we were out of school, they would send us, to Mississippi to stay with an aunt and uncle or family, and I think the reason why they did that was at least in part thought they'd have trouble feeding us. Um, so now people react differently to different things. For my brothers, my brother, one brother, he's the most successful person I personally know. But he's worked, 14 hours a day or something like this. He's rebuilt his business, three times from movement. He's not afraid of hard work. He's truly a commendable, man. My other brother has raised five kids. His family oriented. Me and Tammy, well, we don't have any kids, and the fact is that I am my only child. I like to say that. It just means that I haven't been, uh, I guess, forced to grow up in some ways, and I'm still, I guess, a little immature to some degree. But I'm very proud of my family. We've only lost one sibling, and that was my baby brother, and he died from a drug overdose.
Oh,
Um, I related with him a lot. Not that I've ever been into drugs, but he was his personality was a lot closer to mine than my other brothers, I guess, and so that was kind of difficult. But in fact, I still struggle with it from time to time. I think he did it on purpose. That's a whole nother story. Anyhow, um, I've kind of gotten off topic. Uh, well, that's okay, Roberta. That's okay. I've had to deal with it, and in fact, it's kind of ironic. Uh, no, I ain't going into that.
mm.
Anyhow, um, is there any YouTube channel questions? I guess at this point, um, I'll be glad to share whatever I believe to be the truth.
Constantly put videos out.
Make good videos. You
Yeah.
know, make videos that people want to watch. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what that is, but you know, you could start with asking a question. You know, what is it you're helping the person with? Um, how can you help somebody? In fact, I think those are the ones that, I mean, don't most of us, when we go to YouTube for a specific purpose, is to find out how to reset our watch or how to, fix the fence that's, or how to properly paint. How about what I looked up today? How to give a goat intermuscular an IM injection for antibiotics. We have a tendency to make videos, and I'll use the term willy nilly, or at least I do. But I've tried to make it a point from time to time to do videos that help, answer questions. And the larger, if you continue to do that, and you don't have to do every video like that. A lot of people do videos because it's fun and that's what they enjoy. Enjoy talking about, toy trains or whatever. That's fine. Do something that just for your own amusement, your own enjoyment. But I'd also recommend doing some that's going to stack up and help somebody answer a question, find out how to do something. If you can continue to do that as the time goes on, people will continue to watch your stuff to help them answer questions.
One thing I'm getting on my channel there, Gary.
Yeah.
When my Jeannie sends me video to put up on the channel, a lot of people are wanting to see what the life is like out there in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And
well,
a lot of my American,
go ahead.
A lot of the Americans want to see that. A lot of the people out in the Philippines want to see museum videos.
Interesting.
So I'm focusing on that.
Really?
Makes perfect sense to me. I'm not sure about the museum videos, but I can understand why. The way, and I'm just going to throw this out there without trying to get into any particular, political affiliation or anything else like that, anything controversial. But I think in society today, things have changed a lot, and between men and women, and what people are looking for. And I think that a lot of the men here are looking for more of the type of ladies that you might find that live elsewhere. I've got a friend of mine that's his focus. So I understand. I was lucky enough to find a woman that I love, and I love her more today than I did when I was a youngin.
Me too.
There we go.
Thank you.
Oh well, Molly is Pest Hunter's best catch. So, that's awesome.
And that's Pest Hunter in the background.
Yep.
I know it is. That's Jason and
A
Molly.
lot of folks who don't see me up there, they hear my voice going over her avatar.
That's true, but I know who's there. But the fact is, if you can find somebody that you match with and you can get along most of the time, there's always a little conflict here and there. But at least every time I've ever seen, relationships.
Speaking of that, my fiance just messaged me.
She just what?
My fiance here in the Philippines just messaged me.
Oh, cool. But sometimes I think that if you can be happy there, then you can be a blessed person. Whether and I honestly don't care if you're a guy that likes girls, girl that likes guys, guys that like guys, or girls that like girls. I don't care. You know, I know different viewpoints on what have you, but from my perspective, I don't care if you're white or black. I don't care if you're Asian or a Hispanic. None of that matters to me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. Um, from
Well, my
my
nephew
perspective,
liked Japanese girls so much
the
so he moved to Japan and married Mickey Mouse.
What?
I've heard that Mickey Mouse is popular.
She's
Hey,
Mickey Mouse
October
from
50.
Tokyo Disney.
The Hey, Pendar, good to see you. We were in the process of wrapping it up. Um, I believe that again, I tend to be in the line of what you consider, I guess, an independent, or I believe that my rights should extend up until the point they start extending on somebody else or infringing on somebody else's. I think their rights should too. I think in the United States we have a Bill of Rights, and it's written in our Constitution. I believe that we have the right to seek happiness, the right to pursue happiness. Now,
Yep.
happiness, what's happiness to me and what's happiness to you may be very two different things. But we should have, and it doesn't mean that everything, uh, everything out there, every activity out there is legal by any means. And if something is illegal, you shouldn't pursue it. But that's just
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yep.
Um, the All I'm saying is that people, should be able to try and be happy. Um, I'm certainly happy almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I tickle myself sometimes with some of the stupidest thoughts, but my brain's just always going. And anyhow, uh, thank everybody for coming in. God bless y'all. Um, Sorry if that offends anybody. If the fact that I believe in God
You
offends
offended the dog.
somebody, then don't watch. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings. Um, But thank y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. If anybody would like to hop on the after party for a few minutes, uh, and by
I'll
the
do that.
way, folks on the panel,
Let me get
uh,
there first.
feel free to sit here afterwards if you'd like to talk. If you haven't said anything in the chat for a little while, please go through and say something in the chat so I can recognize you for the participants that are here. Let me say thank you to .com, uh, being us Odyssey. I'm getting used to saying that properly. That's Beth and Neil, and October 50, Pendar, Roberta's Artistic Adventures, Pest Hunter, Outdoors, Square County Homestead, Lady Jane Rogue, Mom of Two, Mom of Two. I always want to say that twice for some reason. But thank y'all for coming in. I do want to thank the folks up here, Joe and Jenny's Journey, Molly Pest Hunters Pets Cats, and Jack Hobson. Um, I think this is the first time I've had Jack up on panel. I've had Joe on panel, I know before. I don't remember if I had Molly or Jason on panel, but I do love that new emblem they got on their, avatar. That's awesome. God
Yeah, it looks
bless.
better than mine.
That is pretty cool.
Emmy's mailing out my stickers as we speak.
That is very cool. I love that. That is just bad to the bone. But thank y'all for coming in. We're going to shut it down. If anybody wants to join the panel and ask any questions or just talk for a few minutes, the at the top of the link, I should have the StreamYard linked, and you can join off of that, and that would be fine. Hey, Chris, just shutting it down, but I'll talk with you in just a second, and we're going to be in 3, 2,
Win-win.
1. We